Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm delighted to be joined by this man, Mr. Ian Bishop. Bish, how is oneself?
I'm all good, mate, and I'm delighted also. And I'm actually looking forward to the weekend coming over and watching the Arsenal game.
Well, let's talk about the Arsenal game then. What are you expecting from West Ham ahead of that one?
Well, you never know, do you, mate? We beat them twice this season, so it could be anything. We've been fits and starts in and out. We're still sitting up fairly high enough in the table, I think 7th. But there's been some games that have been, you wonder how we got there. and then we pick up points. We're still doing well in Europe. It's fairly successful. But I think it's human nature, the way things have gone, because after last season, struggling in the league, having the Conference Cup win sort of made everybody forget about the league table sort of thing. And then this season, now we've got points. Now people complain about the performances. And that's just human nature in my eyes.
Never happy, are we, Bish? There's always something.
No, now we're getting the points. We want good football as well. So
we could be second, complaining we're not first. So hang on a minute, there's still one more to go. But
it's normal, it's normal. But look, I think what people see now, that we've got a squad of good footballers, and want to see us utilise that. Why would you bring in Paqueta or Paquetá? Why would you bring in Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, and now Phillips on loan if you wasn't going to play football? It doesn't make sense to me.
Are you a Paqueta or a Paquetá? Which one are you?
I'm Paqueta.
So am I. I stick with that one, Bish, thank you.
It's an order thing, mate, I think.
There's less and less of us, though. I feel like the Paquetá thing is becoming more and more common. Whenever I listen to it in the commentators, says Paquetá, I'm like, I'm a Paqueta one. Thank you very much. So.
I think if they say it enough, it sort of sticks, doesn't it? Not with me. Not with me, though.
Yeah. Right then. We'll talk about the Arsenal game in just a second. We've spoken about the season so far. Picking up on what you said, I can only assume you're delighted maybe with the points tally, with where we are in the Premier League. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a little bit deceptive considering some of the performances themselves, because I know we snuck a couple of wins when we maybe shouldn't. Tottenham away, we didn't really play. I think it was Forest at home at 3-2 or Brentford. I can't really go back that far, to be honest with you. But I know we've snuck a couple of wins when we really didn't deserve it. And it looks good when you look at the table. But I think you can hear the disgruntled noises in the stadium with the style of play. And I mean, look, I'll come out and say it because it's obvious to me. When we try and play football, we're playing with 10 men. I think Soucek becomes a liability when we try and play. I know Moyes picks him every week and loves him, and he's in there for his set pieces. And you can't fault that he's got, I think, 5 goals, 1 assist. I did do a little bit of homework before we came on. But the thing for me is, okay, 5 goals from midfield. Is he a midfielder? Has it come from set pieces? Has it come from when he's been playing in the 10 sort of thing? 5 goals in what could be 10 touches in all the games he's played. It's not a bad return. But for me, who wants to see football being played, he's never involved in that. And I think it puts us down to 10 men in a football sense. And I know some West Ham fans really love him and won't enjoy me saying that, but that's my opinion with the type of football that I want to see.
Statistics like Erling Haaland, doesn't he? In terms of goals to assists. Maybe that chart will pop up on one day on Sky Sports when they're calling him Paquetá. It'll pop up in the corner, touches per goals or something. He might be up there with Erling. But in terms of the style of football, then that brings us on to the manager. It's a big talking point at the minute because obviously Moyes' contract's currently expiring at the end of the season, but the manager himself has stated he will be having talks with the board and he will be renewing it, and it's caused a division, put it that way. A lot of people think it's the right thing, a lot of people think it's the wrong thing. What's your opinion on the manager?
I don't blame him for wanting a new deal. I think he's earned it. Just because people aren't happy with the style of football, sort of me included a lot of the times, it doesn't mean he hasn't deserved a new deal. Looking at, and I like Dave as well, and he's a really lovely fella. I think after winning the conference, the European Conference Cup might have been a good time for him to sort of step back or step away. He didn't, and he's now come back and he's took us to 7th in the table. You know, we've won our group again in Europe, so he's earned it, whether we think he deserves it or not.
I completely agree with everything you've just said there, because one thing I always say is I've got 3 when, because I do videos every day, Ian. There's 3 things I always say: what I predict, what I think will happen. So in this regards, my prediction would be the board do give David Moyes a new contract. There's what I think deserves to happen, which I think Moyes does deserve a new contract currently. That may change if we were to go further down the league table between now and the end of the season. That may change, but right now he probably does deserve it. But then there's the last one, which is, call it desire, what you want to see. Forget predictions, forget what you think deserves to happen. What do you want? Because it's not always the same thing. So I guess this is my next question. And what do you want to see happen in regards to Moyes' contract? Not what you think deserves to happen.
Okay, I want to see progress. I want to see progress within the club. I want to see progress on the field. And I think the way we are now, I think it's conflicting with itself, where we've brought in a talented squad. And look at Paqueta. Look how long it took him to sort of settle until we sort of decided, you know what, he's a number 10. And we need the ball, really, to get the best out of him. And the same with Ward-Prowse. You know, Alvarez will sit in there and do that job. You know, let's look at Calvin Phillips right now. Hasn't been the best start, mate, has it, to be fair? You know, he's lacking a hell of a lot of sharpness. I think Zuma put him in so much trouble for the first goal against Bournemouth. I think the ball I think it was Johnson gave him a sort of hospital ball. And I'll be honest, my response to that goal was his reaction after it, which was a nothing reaction. That tells me there's you know, the lack of games is obvious. You know, you can't call playing for England getting your sharpness because we don't play anybody. So he coached through them games. And then, you know, he's come here and he's found that you've got to step up again. You know, to play for anybody in the Premier League, you've got to step up. But if you're going to bring them players in, back to your point, I want to see us playing out from the back. I want to see good football. You know, Emerson's done well when he's been there. Our wing backs are good enough. You know, if we do play 3 at the back, 2 at the back even, you know, we're not the greatest on the ball in the centre half positions, but you've got midfield players who want to come and take it off you. And if that's the case, then we need to play football. And I want to see more football. And I think the progress with the squad we've built will be playing football. It won't be let's wait on set pieces. Let's see if we score from corners. You know, it won't be let's scrape through games. It'll be a mentality of, I still go back to whether he said it or not, we don't need the ball. Well, you really do. Everybody does, you know, at some point, whether it's back there, up there. You need the ball to score goals. So, but for me, I think the next step for the club, after winning a European trophy, we need to step up again. I don't think we're stepping up again. I don't think we're going to the next level. And I think in a football sense, maybe somebody like Potter, you know, the lad who's just left Forest, you know, who likes to play Cooper, who likes to play football, you know, they're not going to be available forever. So it's a case of who comes in if Moyes does go.
Yeah. So, sorry to put you on the spot, but does that suggest that you would be keen for Moyes to move on at the end of the season and West Ham try and bring in a manager that perhaps has a better style of play on the playing field?
Well, I'll put it this way, yeah. If we're going to continue in the vein that we are, playing the football that we are, then I think it might be best for him to move on and us to bring in somebody befitting to the squad that we're building in the style of play that these new players who've come in want to play the game.
When you said about moving on to the next level, what is that? Is that staying where we are results-wise, but improving what we do on the pitch?
That's Champions League. Of course it is. Look at Tottenham doing it this season. They've stepped up again. They brought in a new manager and have stepped up. I'm not saying they're great. You know, Man United aren't great. Chelsea have fell away diabolically. So there's gaps there to fill. You know, why should Newcastle fill it? Why should Villa fill it? How are they any better than we were or we are? I don't see that. I think now is the opportunity for us to step up again and maybe make a bold decision. You know, make a bold decision to go for it rather than stay safe a little bit and things might happen. Let's fill them gaps left by Man U, Tottenham. There's no big six anymore. fill the gaps left by Man U, Tottenham and Chelsea. Why shouldn't we?
Aston Villa currently are, aren't they? They're right there in fourth at the minute. In regards to the January transfer window, then, this is where I feel the club failed to step up or failed to show ambition to fill those gaps, because Calvin Phillips, I think, is a good signing. I think he'll be a good signing, Bish. Yeah. I'm happy we got him in. It's been a bad start so far, but it's 1.5 games. I'm not too fussed. But I do think letting Benrahma and Fornals go, and while they weren't providing for us, Moyes was using them. They were still options in squad players, and it got to the point on Sunday against Man United where play Ben Johnson on the wing, because, and I know he's played there at the academy level, but that's what it's resorted to, that a club with this much money to spend has ended up playing Ben Johnson on the wing after the January transfer window closed. And I was a bit disappointed that we didn't bring in a attacker, whether it's a winger, whether it was a striker, so we can move Jared Bowen back. I just think the club failed to back David Moyes adequately in the January transfer window. But what was your opinion on our dealings?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. We're desperate for a striker, right? We're desperate for a centre forward, but we've done it twice before. And Scamacca and Haller, and they've had the system that we played didn't suit them. So it's a case of, do you bring in the centre forwards for the same thing to happen? You know? And who's available right now, or was available in the transfer window? You're not going to get Osimhen from Napoli. You know, he's probably the one that gets flit about now. He's not going to do that. So what is the point? If we're going to play the same system and the lone striker, unless he's a different type, and he is quick and he is going to get behind people, just happy it wasn't Timo Werner, to be honest with you. You know, there's no point. And I don't see, unless they're thinking of changing in the summer and wait until then, I don't know. It seems to be we have a great recruiting fella in there, you know. And it's going to be hard to hold on to as well. But you know, a centre forward was a necessity. We didn't do it. The Benrahma and the Fornals thing, they've been there for quite some time now, and they've come in and out, and it doesn't change things. It doesn't advance us again, if you know what I mean. It's sort of leave them out, results go bad, try them again. We were fairly limited with the options, you know. Yeah. So in that sense, that's going back to what I was saying about moving forward. Change of personnel, whether it be in the management, whether it be in the system, in the players themselves. You know, you need to add and kick on from now on. Otherwise, you're going to miss a chance again. And we've done that in the past.
Fantastic. I'm loving this. Right, but I don't want to keep you too long. So let's turn our attention to Sunday. You're coming over to England tomorrow for the game. Looking forward to the game on Sunday. Arsenal are a damn good side, though, aren't they? Yeah. With a certain midfielder in there now that they got in the summer. Be a tough game.
Yeah, he was our best player in the away game, wasn't he? Superb footballer. I love him to death. Even, look, I was a childhood Arsenal fan, so I wasn't too concerned that if he was going to go to Arsenal, you know. So, and he's a great player, great attitude, great temperament. I know the West Ham fans gave him a little bit of stick, but it's all in the banter of the way the West Ham fans are anyway. I know they love him to death, and will do. Maybe not for that 90 minutes. Well, yeah, 100 minutes these days, most likely. But you know, they are a good side. You can't even look and say we beat them twice. We should go and have a good game against them again. It's just one-offs, isn't it? They've got a little bit of form. They beat Liverpool, who are top of the league, which is going to be a great boost for them. You know, we're coming off the back of a defeat, a few draws. Look, I mean, after this game, I think we've got a run of 5 games before we hit Newcastle away, which are all winnable. Yeah. And it'll be great to get, I don't know, maybe 3 wins out of that 5, irrespective of what happens on Sunday. I'm hoping that, I mean, look, I can expect a draw on Sunday. I'm going to be there, so I'll enjoy it no matter what.
No Paqueta, no party seems to be the theme, though, at West Ham a little bit. When he's not in the team, we don't have much. We've got Bowen and Kudus, but the results suggest that we can't win without him. It's still missing, so it feels like you're almost going into a game, one hand tied behind your back a little bit, that if he doesn't turn up...
Well, this is where players have to step up. You know, you can't keep blaming the manager. You know, at the end of the day, once you go on the field, it's down to you. You know, it's the oldest saying in football, isn't it? Once you cross that white line, the manager can prepare you, but you have to, applicate yourself. And if you don't, you'll lose games.
Yeah.
Like the Bristol City away was probably the most disappointing I've seen us, just for sheer lack of effort and belief. And going a goal down is one thing, but so early and having all that time to peg it back, and we didn't do that. And look, at the end of the day, the whole squad are Premiership ready, so you can't complain when people are missing. This happens to everybody. Some have more resources. That's the difference. But everybody should be capable of coming into that Premier League side and performing. And most of it is effort. Yeah. And we've always said it about West Ham fans. If you give maximum effort, the results sometimes don't matter.
Right, final question for you then, Bish. Time to get your crystal ball out. Can I get a score prediction for Sunday, please?
Yeah, 1-1.
Ooh, will you take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take a draw. Yeah. Are we looking to win the Europa League to get into the Champions League, or do we honestly believe that we'll get enough points to sneak in there? I'm thinking of the former.
Yeah, so get enough points between now and then to keep us in the top half, and then all eggs in one basket when that competition comes in.
I've got nothing better than us to be in the semi-final of the Europa League and sitting in the top 10, and Moyes being able to rest people for the Premier League games, because the Europa League will get us into the Champions League.
Yeah. Do you think we'll win it then? I know there's big teams in there, Liverpool, Leverkusen, but what is it? I know there's a lot of luck involved, but
I don't see why not. Unless we draw Liverpool and he leaves the best players out like he did in the cup game at Anfield, then we won't beat them. But I think on our day, why not?
I've enjoyed this video, Bish. Thank you so much. It's probably in what's been quite a gloomy period for West Ham at the minute. I mean, you would think we're in a relegation battle. It feels quite miserable right now with the January transfer window and the form at the minute. We've not won this year yet. This video is almost cheering me up. So thank you, Bish. Pleasure, genuine pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's all a pleasure, mate. Always.
You guys at home have enjoyed it. Please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Subscribing you to Hammers Chat, myself and Bish. Well, we'll catch you in a bit. I absolutely loved recording that. I've got a couple of nice stories about Bish as well, but I'll save them for another time. Next week, or possibly the following one, but hopefully next week, Bish will be joining us live on Hammers Chat Patreon for an exclusive Q&A where our patrons submit the questions and Bishop answers them. If you fancy getting involved, then do head to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Links in the description and the pinned comments as well. So a massive thank you to anybody that does sign up. Head over there and get involved. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, and hopefully you can join us next week for a Q&A with Bish.